He said he was 18. The paper believed him. The war did not. He wasn't a hero searching for glory, or a patriot answering a nation's call. He was just a boy, caught in the currents of a world he didn't quite understand. He wanted to be part of something bigger, something that mattered. But when he wrote his age on the enlistment form with a hand that had never even held a razor, he wasn't just signing up for a war. He was signing away the last days of his childhood. This is not a story about courage. This is a story about a childhood that ended too early. It's a reminder that behind the grand narratives of history, there are small human truths, often whispered and easily forgotten. This is the story of the boy who went to war. He was 15, a time for scraped knees, first crushes, and dreams of a future that seemed endless. Too young to shave, but old enough to feel the heavy weight of pride. Everywhere he looked, the world was screaming about war. Posters on every wall spoke of honor and duty, their bold letters painting a picture of adventure and heroism. His older friends, or those who just looked older, came back in uniform, their stories filled with a thrilling, terrifying glory. They were men now, respected and admired. He wanted that. He wanted to belong, to stand shoulder to shoulder with them, to prove he was just as brave, just as capable. The pressure was immense, a silent drumbeat in the heart of a generation. He wasn't thinking about the mud, the fear, or the finality of it all. He was thinking about belonging. He was thinking about being seen as a man. The recruiting office was a blur of noise and hurried movements. Men lined up, their faces a mix of excitement and apprehension. When his turn came, he stood as tall as he could, his voice trying to sound deeper than it was. The officer behind the desk barely looked up, his eyes tired from seeing too many faces, too many hopeful lies. Name? Age? The boy's heart pounded. 18, he said, the word feeling foreign and heavy in his mouth. The officer just grunted, dipped a pen in ink, and pushed the papers forward. A date was changed. A name was signed. In that moment, with a simple stroke of a pen, he became a soldier. Not because he was ready, not because he understood what it meant, but because in the great grinding machine of war, no one stopped to ask if a child was making a man's decision. He was given a uniform that was too big and a rifle that was too heavy. The boy walked out of that office, but a soldier walked in his place. The reality of the front was a brutal awakening. The trenches were colder than he had ever imagined, a relentless, damp chill that seeped into his bones and never left. He'd thought of glory and honor, but found only mud and rats. The nights were the worst. They weren't just dark. They were filled with a noise that was louder than fear itself. The constant scream of artillery, the rattle of machine guns, the cries of men he'd shared a joke with hours before. It was a symphony of chaos that clawed at his sanity. He was no longer the brave young man from the posters. He was a terrified child, thousands of miles from everything he knew. In the rare moments of quiet, huddled by a flickering candle flame, he would pull out a small, dog-eared notebook. He wrote in it, not grand thoughts on war or philosophy, but short, simple sentences. The handwriting was clumsy, childish. The food was cold today. It rained again. I miss my dog. And then, written over and over, the same 4 words, a desperate prayer on a crumpled page. I want to go home one morning. The shelling stopped, and an eerie silence fell over the trench. His friends called his name, but there was no answer. The small notebook lay open in the mud, its pages stained and wet. The writing stopped mid-sentence. A few days later, his name appeared on a long list, one among thousands, a casualty report sent back home. No age was mentioned, just a name, a rank, and a single final word. Fallen. He had become a number, a statistic in a war that consumed millions. The lie he told to get there was buried with him, lost in the vast anonymous tragedy of the front lines. He was just another soldier who didn't make it back. He went to war as a boy, full of misguided dreams and a desperate need to prove himself. History remembered him as a man, another soldier, who gave his life for his country. But his story isn't one of a hero's sacrifice. It's the story of a childhood stolen. Not every soldier who fought in the great wars chose to be there. Some were simply too young to understand the choice they were making. It's important we remember them not just as soldiers, but as the children they were. Thank you for watching. If you found this story meaningful, please like and subscribe for more chapters from history.